Hey, what's up, YouTube? I know I haven't did a video in about a month. I haven't did a video in a month because I've just been really busy and overwhelmed, especially with school. And I'm done with this semester. But I really wanted to get on here and just, give some encouragement, be a testament to who God is, and it just kind of give my story. So about 10 days ago, I found out I had COVID. My symptoms were typical symptoms that you would get, like, as far as for me, like, I have bad allergies. So my symptoms was like, my throat was itchy. I didn't have a fever. I did have chills, things of that sort, just like a regular little cold symptoms. And so, what I did was I went on ahead and I took allergy medication because I thought I had allergies. And then I woke up a day later and I just didn't feel the same. Like, I just literally felt, I knew something was wrong. I knew my body, I knew something was wrong. So I just knew that something was going on. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a test. And thank God that I was off work. I wasn't around anyone at that time, or things of that sort. So I just kind of went into CVS and I took my own test or whatever, got it back, and surely I found out that I had COVID. Prior to me finding out, my mom found out that she had COVID because she wasn't doing well. Now, I'm going to give you a little background of our stories. My mom has a compromised immune system. I have a compromised immune system. She has underlying issues. My daughter has asthma. So right there, the anxiety went high. To even think, to see that positive sign, to see that word was enough to take you over the edge. And I'm just being real with you, because you hear all these stories and you hear people's experiences. And that's why I say that you can't really give a comment on, this entity, this spirit, COVID, because if you haven't walked through it, you just don't, it's just, you don't know the feeling. And I think a lot of times for us to be vessels, we have to experience things first. And I just think that's how God works. And he gives grace in the midst of him allowing it to form but not prosper. And I just kept hearing that. I just kept hearing, like, God, he said that the weapons will form, but it will not prosper. And I just want to get on here and just, like I said, be a vessel to who God is. Because there was so much grace that was given. Right there with our medical conditions, we was against our odds right there. So, of course, you're thinking the worst. Because the way that I've been taught is to think the worst, expect the worst, prepare for the best. But let me tell you about having a relationship with God. Let me tell you what a relationship with God will do, honey. Okay? You literally, from my experience and my mother's experience, because my child who has asthma was not sick. Do y'all hear me? God just shows so much grace, y'all. Because I was sick as a dog. My mother was sick as a dog. Voice gone. I couldn't taste. I couldn't smell. Weak. I couldn't do anything. But I had a daughter. Okay? I had a daughter that I had to take care of. And not even just that. Like, she has COVID. So I'm trying to make sure she's breathing right. Anxiety is high. But see, for a minute, just a little minute, let me tell you, the enemy tried to get up here for a minute. But let me tell you, when you pray without ceasing, when you have a relationship with God, God will give you peace that surpasses all understanding. You won't even know how you got peace, y'all. I was laying up there when it first happened. I'm like, okay, I got to be off work. You don't work, you don't eat. So all these things, that's what the devil do. He tries to manipulate your mind, and he tries to move you out of that place of peace, y'all. Don't move out of that place of peace. Whatever God has you, stand firm in him. Stand firm in his word, knowing that he would never leave you nor forsake you, knowing that you would never walk alone. Do you hear me? I had no one come over there to help me or my child. I had an aunt who tried to assist, but I did not want to get anyone sick. So I had to order my groceries. God figured it out. Do you hear me? He gave little graces here and there. My child did not get sick. Do you hear me? She has asthma very bad. That was grace. Do you hear me? Today's my first day back from my first day back to work, and my anxiety is through the roof. But I gotta just, you know what I'm saying? I prayed this morning, and I got to trust God. I got to trust God for who he is. I got to trust God for who he is, and I got to trust God in his word. Do y'all hear me? That he has not brought me this far to leave me. That it don't matter how much Lysol you got. That it don't matter how many wipes, Clorox wipes you have. That it don't matter how much hand sanitizer you put on your hand, what type of mask you got. If it's not, let me tell y'all, it's only by God y'all still here. Do you hear me? It ain't because you did something too good. It ain't because you put on enough hand sanitizer. It ain't because you wore your mask. It ain't because you sat down in a house and ain't did nothing. It's because of by God's grace that he showed you enough. Do y'all hear me? You hear all these stories through COVID experiences and how people, on ventilators and how it's spreading so quickly, just how the media pushes fear. But let me tell you, them days I sat in that bed and struggled to stay woke, struggled, my body fighting. Do y'all hear me? Struggling mentally because my mother is over there sick and I could not be of assistance. Struggling all them times. God gave me peace. Do y'all hear me? So I don't know who I'm speaking to. Sometimes God used different measures. Sometimes we have to walk through it for us to really experience it so that we can be a vessel and a testament. This ain't a game, y'all. I know that everybody wants to live their best lives, and I know that everybody wants to be in the mix, and I know that everybody, is overwhelmed with being in a house, but y'all have to do better. Because God showed me grace, he can lend that same grace. But just because we're healing and we're in a better space. Yes, we are. By the grace of God. It had nothing to do with what we did. And moving forward, it don't matter how much hand sanitizer I got on my car, how many Clorox wipes and Lysol I got on my car. It's only by the grace of God that we're still here. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? This stuff is moving so quickly that it's almost impossible not to get it. But God will give you grace in the midst of the storm. Do y'all hear me? So I don't know who I'm talking to. Trust him. Lean not on your own understanding, and he will give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Trust this process. Stop worrying about how you gonna do this, how you gonna do that. A lot of y'all scared to go get tested because y'all don't want to sit down. That is the most selfish thing. You are the most selfish person to not even want to get tested just because you don't want to sit down, just because you don't want to miss work. I miss work and God still showed up and showed out. Because when you have a relationship with him, it was times where I couldn't go deep in prayer like I usually do. Where I couldn't read my books like I usually do. But when you pray without ceasing, don't you know that God will come and see about you? He will take care of you. This entire experience was an eye-opener. That we aren't in control. That we have no control. That is only by the grace of God that we are still here. Do you know how many people lost their lives over this thing? And I see a lot of y'all walking around with no mask on. Don't you know that's helping us? I see a lot of y'all, you know, won't sit down. Y'all going here, y'all going there. I ain't here to judge you. But I pray. Because all of the whole time I was sick, all I could think about was the people and the homeless that was in the streets that get sick and ain't got a bed to lay in. They don't got a bed to lay in. They ain't got food to get them energy. They can't just go grab a bottle of water out the refrigerator. Do you see grace? When you are fighting for your life, God will really open your eyes. And you can't help but to see the grace in everything. Do y'all hear me? A lot of us are blessed beyond measure, have more than what we need. And this whole time I'm thinking about the homeless. And dang, the people that's in the hospitals, that's on ventilators. The Lord allowed me to stay there with my child. Have my mother for emotional support, and I be her emotional support while we both experience something that really tried to take us out. If y'all don't know God, you better get to know God. It's only by his grace. Pay attention to the little graces God does. We like to just praise him for when he do stuff right, but y'all got to pay attention to the little graces he give. You got to pay attention to the little graces. God is awesome. God is real. Do y'all hear me? And this is just a little smidge of what this entire week can have. I thought I'd never get better. Do y'all hear me? I'm up with energy. I have my taste back. I can smell. And I know God don't live in anxiety. So I know that that's the enemy. And I'm not going to let him do it because I fought to be here. I fought to live. Please, y'all. Pray without ceasing. Please. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, stop getting in these big groups. And I pray that God have mercy on you guys. Peace, love, and light. God bless.